Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a senior at Wellesley. I'm a gender studies major with public health concentration. So in terms of a background of myself, where I'm from a little town on the coast of eastern Massachusetts called Manchester by the Sea, Massachusetts. It's very preppy, very waspy.
So my name is Gasong. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I'm a junior at Wellesley College. I'm an Econ major. My family is from Shanghai, China. I grew up in California for a couple of years until the 5th grade. And then I moved to Shanghai for middle school and high school.
My name is Abby Hess. Abigail Johnson Hess is my formal name. I was born in Kansas, and then I lived in England, and then Ohio, and then I spent most of my time growing up in California, and my family has moved since then.
Hi, my name's Juliet Fry. I'm from Atlanta, and I'm involved in Phi Sig, and I play soccer for Wellesley.
My name is Abby Aldridge. I'm 20 years old. I'm a junior. I'm from San Diego, California, but I've also grown up in Virginia and Hawaii. I play soccer and I like to ride my skateboard.
Hi, I'm Dom. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a potential Spanish major and health and society minor. I am involved in ethos. I'm webmistress and historian. I am the treasurer of Wicked Wellesley for Caribbean Development. I'm the second VP of Blackout, an organization for African students of descent for the queer community.
I'd say I have like
Ballpark.
4 or 5 pairs of jeans, 3 or 4 pairs of dress pants, and like 2 or 3 other pants outside. So I'd probably say 5, like 10 pairs of pants.
Okay, how many skirts, dresses?
Skirts, oh Lord, 7 skirts, more than that maybe. Dresses, 10.
I think I have like 10 pants, 10 pants, a good amount of dresses, probably like 7. I don't know, enough for like when I need them, like when I'm going out or anything like that. And you said what, skirts?
Skirts.
5. Yeah.
I think I own around 20 pairs of pants, probably 50 dresses, and around 20 skirts. But I have to tell you, my sister and I are the same size, so we share a closet, so I really don't actually know.
Probably 8 pairs of pants.
8 pairs of pants? How many dresses do you have?
Probably 5.
5 dresses. Skirts?
About 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
How about like heels or sneakers?
I think I have 2 pairs of heels, but I share a lot with my roommate. And I have about 4 pairs of sneakers, I'd say.
Like 15 to 20. I think it's tricky because like, maybe like 23. I have like sweatpants, and then I also have pants that like I had in high school or like my first year of college that like realistically I'll never ever wear again, but like I just don't want to throw out in case like super tight pants ever come back into fashion.
What about dresses or skirts? 0.
Oh no, I have 1 prom dress, but that's at home. But I pretty much 0.
I probably own 5 pairs of pants, 5 skirts, and 10 dresses.
Let's say I've been told my glasses are very much Abby, and then I have a pair of Converse that I really like to wear.
I have a vest that I got 3 years ago at a thrift store in my hometown, and my mom always wanted me to get into thrifting, not like directly, but like as a kid we would always go to Goodwill, we would always go to like different Salvation Army shops just to either donate or just look for like neat little stuff. Like she would get like old dolls.
So I figured a few things out. So I'd say, this skirt. Not even that I wear it all that often, but because it's just not practical, but it's like a lace over pink. I like things with a lot of frills, a lot of extra details, oftentimes too many details, especially all at once. These are a pair of sort of like palazzo pants, just like big flowy silk, have a big pattern. I don't like small patterns, I like bigger bold patterns, which I think is also obvious on that dress. I love florals. I love being outside. I love whimsical sort of fairy tale gardens, and if I can wear that, then I'm happy. So I think things with large details, but with a lot of like intricate details.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would say probably like this semester and last semester probably I have a hat that's like a floral hat. I think just like a lot of people have seen me in that hat, and it's all.
What kind of hat is it?
It's like a 5-panel. It's like a 5-panel with like a suede brim. I think it's just something that like, you know, you can wear on days when you're really putting in effort in your wardrobe. I wear it on days when I just like roll out of bed, or days when like I have really bad hair. So.
Go-to is like a pair of jeans. Like, I mean, that's what I end up wearing every single day.
I really like my cowboy boots. I know that wasn't a skirt dress or anything, but my cowboy boots, and I wear bows all the time. So. Well, my mother says that it's either tied up top or tied on the bottom, and you can't do both because you have to leave some things up to the imagination.
Like when I was younger, so my dad grew up in like a very wealthy family that was very like brand centric. Like everything he had growing up had like the Polo logo on it. So when he got older and he sort of like rejected like the materialism and like elitism in a lot of ways, he was very concerned about like teaching us to do the same. And so he took us like Salvation Army when we were really little, and he's like, you should buy your clothes here. We're like, Dad, no. But I think since then after growing up a little bit and getting over sort of that phase of caring about like where my clothes were from or what they looked like, what brand they had on them, I just wanted like what I thought was interesting, what like reflected my own like individual like identity. So and I also went to state school before coming to Wellesley, so I spent a lot of time like looking through thrift stores. And I would say that's probably a direct result of my dad really introducing them to us as young kids. So I think fashion is about like utility and self-expression.
Funny thing is my father always jokes that cotton matches with cotton. That, you know, it doesn't matter what the color is, if it's cotton, it matches, which is hilarious and kind of dumb.
I mean, she was never really into like encouraging me or my sister to be like cutting edge in our clothes. She just wanted us to look like presentable. She's always been a big fan of bright colors though, so like she always wanted me to wear like bright colors. I don't know, she was really happy when like I wanted to dye my hair purple, and she let me dye my hair purple for like 3 years. It was really bad, but yeah, so like classic cuts, things that look nice, like no rips or tears, none of that like grunge look, and also like bright colors or patterns.
My family has taught me that fashion and style are different, and that they should be conservative, and that I should dress conservatively. Also, in being conservative, I have to be respectful of my gender and dress for my gender. This has been like very vehement through my upbringing, through my religious upbringing, in that women wear skirts, men wear pants. That whole slew just kind of like fitting into like 2 different categories. The fact of the matter that there are only 2 recognizable categories, and just like different things like that.
My mom is like, this is kind of silly of her because she usually doesn't talk about things like this, but she says that you should always match your bra and underwear in case something happens to you and you're in an ambulance and someone has to undress you. So that's a good look, you know. Gotta make a good impression even when you're knocked out.
It's every day for me, and I wear what I want to wear when I want to wear it. Like one day I will wear the shortest skirt with like a loose top or a blazer, or be like very feminine presenting with what I have on, as opposed to some days I'll wear the button down and I'll have a vest on and the dress pants and nice shoes, and I'll be as masculine, presenting our masculine as I prefer to be.
I put colors that don't necessarily make sense together. But at the same time, I also have a very like classic side to my personality. Like I like going out in the city. I like at times going to frat parties. I like going to like bars. And so I also think a form of my self-expression can be wearing clothes that like reflect my environment. Like I think what's really fun is like going out in like a really short skirt and a really minimal top. And I think that's fun because especially in terms of feminism, and as a gender studies major, I feel like I've really established what I believe to be like my own like identity as a feminist, and that's like doing what I think is like what's fun for myself, like what's like my own form of agency. And so my fashion is a part of that. If I want to like go out and dress almost naked, then like why not? That's a form of self-expression. Like we all have sexualities, we all have like identities that we want to express in different ways at different times. So sometimes they'll be wearing like a flowery top and like long pants. Sometimes it'll be wearing all black and almost no clothes at all. And I think that's just a reflection of different aspects of the self.
Definitely.
I think Wellesley gives you the opportunity to dress in any way you want. And so I think at another school I might feel pressured to dress a lot more feminine, but here I feel like I can dress in like, I can be wearing a collared shirt and like a pair of like, you know, boyfriend jeans and feel like a feminine human being. I don't feel restricted in my dress in a way that I might in another environment.
And one part of it too is just I think I've gotten older and I've come to terms with more of my gender identity, more of my like sexual identity too, sexual orientation. So in high school I had a lot of like tall volleyball player friends, and it was like short shorts and tank tops and rainbows every day. And while it wasn't like, I don't think it was necessarily super girly, it was just less like East Coast button up. And then coming to Wellesley, the weather, coming to terms with my sexual orientation, not constantly being watched by my parents, I think I ended up definitely dressing a little bit more masculine.
Going to Wellesley, I never owned like a bodycon dress before Wellesley, and being here, people have been like very excited about like showing off your body in like a good way, not like too sexually or anything, or too wanted like not to be overtly sexual for men, but just to like enjoy your body a little more. So that was definitely one thing.
I think when I first got to Wellesley, I did this thing that I feel like a lot of queer, like masculine of center people do, where like I wore like bow ties every single day, and it was exhausting. But like every day I would show up to class in like a bow tie or a tie and like a vest and like, you know, nice jeans or like khakis or something like that. And it's just exhausting. But I think that was like getting to Wellesley and realizing like, oh, I can do this, and I've never been able to, and wanting to explore that aspect of fashion. And I think after a while I was just like, oh, this is exhausting. And also like every single masculine center like person is dressing like this is really boring, and also it's just like too much. Like why I'm showing up to like an 8:30 class in like a bow tie, like what's the point?
Encouraged me to think outside of the realm of like what I thought femininity was. And so to be feminine doesn't mean to wear a dress, it means to like really be your best self.
So there was a period when I just did like jeans and t-shirts and like very much did like, I don't know, like more rugged boots and like a lot of snapbacks and hats and like sweaters, I would say, versus like blazers or jackets. And I think it's like the pendulum swung one way and then swung the other, and now it's kind of just like somewhere in the middle between like preppy and like more casual. I don't know.
I mean, as a kid, I was definitely a really big tomboy. And I think in the big picture, it hasn't become more masculine. There was definitely a bit of a switch between high school, where there's a lot of pressure, I think, for women to dress more feminine and men to dress more masculine, and very like strict binaries. On top of that, I think being in a heterosexual relationship versus being in a homosexual relationship changed a lot of it. Right, so I dated a boy in high school, and so it was very much like I should be dressing like a lady, and this is how they dress. And then I was in a homosexual relationship, and I did dress.
similar. I think my wardrobe has gotten more sophisticated. Like I wear, it's definitely for a wardrobe an older woman would have versus my high school self, which was basically just jeans. Definitely more feminine.
I think I'm somewhat masculine of center for a woman. And that, like, you're not going to see me in pink every day, and people will comment if I wear pink every day. And I'd rather be wearing pants than a dress on a day-to-day.
I wouldn't actually describe it as androgynous, but I think that for a lot of people who are looking at this as like a woman wearing men's clothes, then that is, you know, how they define androgyny. I would definitely say, like, I dress like, you know, I wear men's clothes, like it's masculine clothes constructed for men's bodies. Like the way that it fits is very different. So dainty is a word that like people started to use like jokingly, but I do think it's like there's something about wearing men's clothes but like wearing shirts that have flowers on them, or like, you know, wearing men's clothes but like doing something that is more feminine than, you know, than people would expect if you're wearing men's clothes. Like I'm not a very like butch macho person at all. Yeah.
During the past couple years that I've explored more the incorporation of masculinity into my style, and like how I like wearing dress pants or like Oxfords or different things like that, and like what it means for that to be a masculine style and how that's socially perceived, but how I also personally enjoy wearing the clothes that I wear and why it means that, and specifically because like I'm not defining it as masculine, it has already been defined as masculine for me, so that's not me putting a label on it, it's been presented that way to me and I've made it my own.
I'd say I dress pretty feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
I mean, not like, I don't wear like, you know, all bubblegum pink and with bows in my hair, but I think I dress like on the spectrum in the more feminine side.
Dress more masculinely, in like just a less form-fitting, baggier button-up kind of way. But like if I'm gonna dress up, I'm always gonna want to wear a dress and make myself look nice. But at the same time, like part of it's also just like I like wearing heels because like I like feeling taller, and I don't know if I think that's like a necessarily like feminine thing to do.
I had a job working with kids in camp and stuff like that, but I strayed away from any masculine, just because like I just to avoid like certain drama with parents that I have to meet or interact with, as well as the fact that they are thinking about the fact that I'm interacting with their children.
My dress is definitely different when I go out, and I also think that's okay.
Yeah.
Because if I want to go out and find someone and have sex, that's like, I think my own interpretation of like feminism is that that's okay. Do that, have fun. If I want to dress in this in yoga pants and like relax, then that's also fine. So it really like an embodiment of like you do you. Like,
Exactly.
do your own thing.
I worked in a hospital. I had to wear like a pantsuit, and because you have to have everything covered, but it's also like trying to be nice. And then for casual, I wear jeans and blouses. And then for like dressing up and going out, I probably jazz up the jeans or maybe change it to a skirt or like, or even a dress going out.
I think setting definitely affects how I dress. So at Wellesley, I think I try and fit the more collegiate preppy style. You know, pants, a button up, more masculine shoes or sneakers. But this summer I worked in for a company that a lot of the creative gear was based towards fashion, and there was definitely a lot of pressure to definitely like always wear, you know, a dress and, you know, heels or flats, or like a skirt and like a really girly top. That pressure came actually more from, I think it definitely came more from the men in the office than it did from any of the women. If there was a day where the creative director wasn't going to come in, he was one of 2 men in the office, I would be way more likely to like wear pants that day.
like the boyfriend pant, a boyfriend shirt. It's the same shirt that is on the men's side. So you're paying like, and watch, if you probably walk over to the men's side, watch it be like $5, $10 less. Like just go into a store and don't look at all those big header thingies on top that say women, men, juniors, kids, whatever it is, and go and find what you want. And pick that, wear that, see how it fits.
Can you go into further depth what you think is wrong with the boyfriend shirt or the boyfriend jean?
It's putting the idea, well, first of all, it's going based off of a hetero system of that, like, oh, like you slept over at your boyfriend's house, what am I gonna wear? His clothes. And that's not the way that all relationships are, for lack of like having to go into that whole spiel. But yeah, no, it's not, I just don't see that label as necessary whatsoever. And not only that, but I see it as like sexist and offensive and like all that other shit. Because it's kind of like, it's just a pair of pants that happen to be ripped and loose, and that's really all that they are. So look at clothes as clothes and just wear what you please.
I think something that's strange for me is this concept, like androgyny is becoming very popular in fashion. Like, I mean, like off the rack and runway fashion. I think it's interesting to me that androgyny is always considered like a woman in man's clothes, or like a man wearing like very tight clothes. And like, you know, I think that's, I don't know. I mean, I highly doubt that we're gonna start, like, you know, we're starting to see like celebrities show up on red carpets wearing like men's tuxedo like jackets and things like that. And I don't think we're really ever gonna get to a point in the next few years where like a guy's gonna show up wearing a skirt. But like, I don't know, I think there's this idea that like if you want to be androgynous and like edgy, you have to just take menswear and like twist it a little bit. And I think it would be really cool to see people using femininity as a tool for androgyny instead of just being like, oh, I'll just throw on like a blazer. Yeah, I think it's like getting to this middle ground instead of just saying let's take a woman and put her in men's clothes. Getting to this middle ground of like designing clothes that can be worn unisex. I think like, I mean, I guess American Apparel kind of did that earlier with their like hoodies and stuff that really were exactly the same thing. But I think you're seeing it more in things that are actually have a design and are not just like a hoodie, which is like a very practical, like there's not much you can do to alter the design.
Hats. People should never wear hats, with the exception of like for utility, like baseball hats or like beanies. End of list. Like fedora. All hat like trends look dumb in 5 years. Fedoras, all the hats of the 90s, all the hats of the 70s look ridiculous. Those little like baseball like half cap that like Common would have worn, like newsy caps, look stupid. Fashion hats are dumb.
I think there's certain pairs of shoes that men wear that I'd really like to wear, like especially work boots and stuff. Because like when I'm home, we have a farm, walk around on it, and it would be nice to be able to pull off something other than just like duck boots, which are great, but they're not steel-toed at all, so you can get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I love Kate Middleton so much, and I just want to dress like her all the time. She's my #1 fashion idol.
Like Anthony Urbano, he lives in New York. I started following him just because he was the first Asian male fashion blogger that I found, and I just thought it was really cool. Like he was the first Asian who had like that like quiff style hair, and it was really big in like 2012 or 2013, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, so this summer I actually worked doing social media work for Amazon Fashion, so I did a lot of work with bloggers and mining a lot of data on how bloggers generate the most traffic to Amazon's website. My favorite is Lena Cardoso. She runs the blog Troupe Rouge. It's really great. You should look it up because she's like very like masculine dressing, but beautiful and badass and vintage and cool as hell.